Look at this thermal imaging representation. Notice how the heat starts at the core and rapidly floods out to the extremities. When your body hits a certain biochemical threshold in adulthood, you might experience sudden, intense waves of heat, exactly like this. You apply your normal deodorant in the morning, step outside, and within minutes you're drenched. Your old hygiene routines simply stop working. Sweating itself is a biological necessity. It is a process called thermoregulation. When your core temperature spikes, your body releases fluid to the surface of your skin to cool you down, balance your electrolytes, and keep your internal organs from overheating. But the body utilizes two entirely different cooling systems. Your eccrine glands cover almost your entire skin surface and release a simple, watery sweat. Your apocrine glands, located primarily in your armpits and torso, produce a much thicker, fatty fluid. The simple eccrine gland passively releases water. The wider apocrine gland actively contracts, pumping dense, fatty fluid to the surface. Standard deodorant just sits on the skin, masking odor. It does nothing to stop the contracting tubule walls. The sweat pushes right past the barrier. To regain control over this process, you have to stop treating adult sweat as a cosmetic issue. Your body is a complex thermodynamic system. When it starts failing to regulate heat efficiently, you have to intervene with precise chemical and physical adjustments. Step 1 is replacing your deodorant with a clinical-grade antiperspirant. Specifically, you need a formula containing a minimum of 13% aluminum chloride. Here is a microscopic view of how this chemical works. Those metallic aluminum salts enter the open sweat duct and combine with moisture to form a physical, solid plug. They stop the fluid at the actual source. But for this plug to set and harden into a rigid, impenetrable block, the surrounding skin must be completely bone dry during application. If you apply the chemical to a damp armpit or right after a hot shower, the salts immediately dissolve. The rising fluid washes them away before they can form a structure, leaving the duct completely wide open. This is why timing is the single most critical factor in your protocol. Apply your antiperspirant exclusively at night before bed. When you sleep, your basal body temperature drops and your sweat glands power down, giving the aluminum chloride the dry environment it needs to cure. By timing this chemical application to align with your body's deepest resting phase, you use your own circadian rhythm to lock the treatment in place. Now that the chemical block is set, we need to address the physical environment of your underarm, starting with body hair. Thick hair acts as a net. It catches and holds on to apocrine moisture and bacteria, increasing heat and odor. More importantly, it creates a physical barrier that prevents your antiperspirant from ever making direct contact with the skin. Trimming it clears the surface for the chemical to work. Next, look at this cross-section of a synthetic fabric like spandex, nylon, or acrylic. The weave is extremely tight, forming an impermeable wall. When your body generates heat and moisture, these synthetic fibers trap those droplets directly against your skin, creating a micro-sauna. Watch what happens when we switch to a natural, breathable fabric, like loose cotton or mesh. The structure is porous. The trapped heat waves and moisture droplets successfully pass through the gaps and evaporate into the surrounding air. If you skip these physical adjustments, if you leave a dense layer of hair and wrap it in synthetic plastic, the trapped micro-environmental heat will eventually overwhelm even the strongest chemical blockers. The final daily adjustment happens internally. Your diet acts as the fuel source that dictates your body's baseline thermostat. This visualization represents your metabolic response to a heavy, high-fat, low-fiber meal. To break down those complex lipids, your digestive system has to overwork like an aggressive cellular furnace. This immense effort rapidly drives up your core internal temperature, forcing your cooling systems to kick in. Then you have nervous system stimulants like nicotine and high doses of caffeine. These chemicals artificially elevate your heart rate, tricking your brain into thinking you are in a state of physical exertion and sending your sweat glands into overdrive. Certain trigger foods, specifically highly spicy or acidic meals, can even cause a direct nerve misfire known as gustatory hyperhidrosis. This reaction bypasses normal thermoregulation, causing immediate, heavy sweating across the head, face, and torso while you eat. You can offset this heat production by heavily hydrating and eating water-rich foods like melons or leafy greens. This introduces cool fluid directly into the digestive tract, lowering the internal temperature and replenishing the water you lose through perspiration. Your external sweat response is directly dictated by the fuel you put inside. By reducing the thermic load of your diet, you lower the amount of heat your body has to frantically vent. Sometimes checking all the mechanical boxes isn't enough. If you trim the hair, wear breathable fabrics, manage your diet, apply a 13% aluminum block at night, and still wake up drenched, you are likely dealing with a medical condition known as hyperhidrosis. Major biological shifts, like menopause, a thyroid disorder, or a genetic nerve anomaly, can trick your brain into perceiving a false, constant state of overheating. Medical science offers precise ways to intercept these false signals. Look at this neural pathway. The first line of clinical intervention is botulinum toxin, or Botox. A doctor injects a targeted chemical barrier that blocks and dissolves the electrical signal from the sympathetic nerve before it can tell the gland to sweat. Another option is iontophoresis. Instead of a chemical block, this therapy uses specialized electrical currents delivered through water. It acts as a targeted jamming signal, scattering the nerve impulses in your hands and feet so they never reach the glands. For extreme cases where the glands simply will not shut off, surgeons can perform an endoscopic thoracic sympathectomy. This is a minimally invasive procedure that permanently severs the specific nerve instructing the glands to misfire. Look at how this glowing, overheated surface is instantly neutralized by a cooling wave. Whether you use a nocturnal chemical block to plug the ducts or a surgical procedure to cut the signal, excessive sweat is a solvable mechanical error within the human machine.